Hello, I just saw a crash near Indiantown Road and Military Trail.
Is there anybody injured?
There's an ambulance flipped over and a red car. I can't see if there's any movement in either vehicle.
On June 1st, it was a Thursday morning. I woke up about 6:45 in the morning, picked up the phone to call my husband. He was on shift. He was a paramedic, working at 24. And I picked up the phone to call him and say, hey, get home quick today. Don't take a late call. You and Allie have recital practice. So I hung up the phone, went downstairs to start making breakfast for my daughter, Allison, who was in kindergarten at the time. And I, in the middle of making breakfast, opened my phone and I started scrolling through my social media. And then it was rest in peace, Paul, R.I.P. Paul, oh no, what happened? And I was like, this isn't right. It was just not okay. So I called my husband, was leaving another voicemail. Hey, something's wrong. And then I looked up, and when I looked up, I saw the news on the TV with my husband's ambulance tipped over on its side with the bodies, with the yellow tarp draped over them. And it said, drunk driver hits ambulance. At that moment, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call, so I started calling my husband's headquarters to see if I can get an answer, and I was getting hung up on. Nobody getting put on hold. No one wanted to tell me what was going on. So I put Allison in the car, and I drove an hour since I live in a different county. I don't know how I got to where I got. It's all a blur, and I pulled up at the station, get inside, and I'm presented with a bag, clear plastic bag with my husband's belongings, his necklace, his bracelets, his rings, wallets, his badge. There's blood on it. It was clear bag, and that's what I see. He died quickly. He felt no pain. That's what I got. And then I sat there at a table, and I didn't know what to do. So I said, well, can I see his body? What do we need to, can I see him? Where is he at? Where do we go? And they put me in the truck and took me to the medical examiner's office. When I got to the medical examiner's office, I was told I couldn't see him, and I didn't understand why I couldn't see him if he's dead. Like I want to know. I want to see him. They picked me back up, put me in the car, and I went back to the station where I just sat. And this was probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and I didn't know what was going on. No one would help. No one could tell me what was going on or what to do next. About that time, they were wrapping up the accident scene, and the officers on that scene realized that no one had notified me of my husband's death. There wasn't a proper death notification given. So as soon as they found out, they came over. They kind of told me what I needed to do next, and although it wasn't, the best, it was something, it wasn't going to bring my husband back, but it was okay. Yes, he's dead, but here's the steps we have to take next. But for 5 hours prior to that, I just sat there, not knowing what was going on, not knowing who to call, not knowing what to do. Somebody should have been there, and it would have been very, very helpful if someone came and notified me and said, listen, this isn't going to bring your husband back, and it's never going to, but this is what happens next. And I suffered, I think more not having that initial, hey, this is going to be okay. Not that it's ever going to be okay, but I'm here. These are the steps that you need to take. I didn't have that guidance, and for hours, I just sat around not really knowing what to do. With all the services that we have right now, there's no reason why anyone should ever find out through social media that their loved one is no longer here.
Driving a vehicle while impaired is a dangerous crime. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 29 people die every day in the United States in motor vehicle crashes that involve an impaired driver. That's one death every 50 minutes. Let's take a closer look at the statistics. In 2016, 10,497 people were killed in alcohol-impaired driving crashes, accounting for 28% of all traffic-related deaths in the United States that year. Over the 10-year period from 2009 to 2018, an average of 10,000 people died every year in drunk driving crashes. About 1 in 3 traffic deaths in the United States involve a driver with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or higher. These statistics highlight the significant extent of impaired driving-related deaths on a national level. However, while these numbers are alarming, they do not begin to describe the resulting emotional, psychological, physical, and financial aftermath experienced by the families and the friends of the victims. With every fatal crash, officials must deliver death notifications to grief-stricken friends and family members.
Because impaired driving crashes are often initially treated as accidents instead of crimes, the appropriate delivery of victim services is hindered, or in some cases, they may be absent altogether. Moreover, the lengthy process of completing toxicology reports and related medical examiners' investigative reports, both of which are required to determine prosecutorial options, often leave families waiting for up to 1 year to know whether or not the impaired driver will be charged for the death of their family member or members. This critical period of waiting, often without services or interventions, can be particularly difficult and in many ways contributes to prolonged grieving and emotional trauma. The family members are often left alone in their grief, unable to be linked to resources like victims' compensation, burial assistance, evidence-based therapy, personal legal advocacy, and emergency financial assistance that are readily available in their community. Currently, there are no programs or models in Palm Beach County or even in the United States which specifically and seamlessly address this very unique subset of victims. To address this serious problem, Palm Beach County Victim Services has collaborated with project partners and community agencies to develop the Impaired Driving Enhanced Assistance Taskforce. This first-of-its-kind protocol is being implemented by a multidisciplinary team of Palm Beach County law enforcement, fire rescue, and victim services personnel who will ensure that every survivor or family member of an impaired driving death receives prompt critical support in accessing available resources and services as they navigate the criminal justice system immediately following a crash. Let's take a closer look at how the I.D.E.A protocol works.
Hello, this is Investigator Cardascia with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. I'm requesting an advocate to respond to a scene reference a death notification.
The I.D.E.A Task Force protocol will be put into action as soon as the traffic homicide investigator calls the Palm Beach County Violent Crime Helpline to request a victim advocate. An advocate will immediately be dispatched to the accident scene if there is a fatality, serious bodily injury, or the need for a death notification. The traffic homicide investigator will then provide the helpline with the case information, including location and a brief summary of the crash, the current location of the victim, the extent of the injuries, the victim's name, date of birth, and the next of kin's name, phone number, and location. The investigator will also provide their agency name, the investigator's name, phone number, and the location where the victim advocate should respond. The victim advocate will contact the traffic homicide investigator for further information as they are responding to the requested location.
If next of kin notification is required, there are 4 steps the officers and advocates will take when using the I.D.E.A protocol: plan, prepare, deliver, and follow up. The victim advocate and traffic homicide investigator meet away from the location of the next of kin and plan the delivery of the death notification. The victim advocate and traffic homicide investigator will decide what information will be shared with the next of kin at initial contact. They know to expect questions from the next of kin. They will always work in a team of at least 2 traffic homicide investigators and a victim advocate. The primary traffic homicide investigator will provide the death notification, followed by the victim advocate, who will provide support to the family. The additional investigator will provide scene safety by observing the room and monitoring the reactions of those receiving the notification. The traffic homicide investigator will take the lead during the notification. They will confirm the identity of the next of kin, and if permitted, the traffic homicide investigator and the victim advocate will enter the home and ask the next of kin to be seated. The traffic homicide investigator will then deliver the death notification, while the victim advocate provides support to the next of kin. Following the death notification, the victim advocate will complete the client intake packet and discuss the important phone numbers in the survivor resource packet. Prior to leaving the home, the victim advocate will request to call a friend or family member to come to the home to remain with the next of kin. The next of kin should not be left alone following a death notification. Finally, the victim advocate will advise the next of kin that their assigned advocate will contact them the next business day to continue providing support.
Hi.
Well, is this a residence of Mark Smith?
Yes, it is.
Are you in relation to him?
I'm his wife.
Do you mind if we come in and speak to you?
Is everything okay?
Is it okay if we come in and speak to you?
Sure. Come in.
Thank you. I'm sorry to inform you, but Mark Smith has been involved in a car crash and he is dead.
How do you know it's my Mark Smith?
His driver's license and his wallet identified him.
No. Oh my God. What happened? He was just said he was on his way home. He was coming home and I was gonna cook dinner. Come home. Come home. I don't believe it. What happened?
He was driving westbound on Southern Boulevard and someone went through a light and T-boned him.
I'm so sorry. Is there someone I can call to come and be with you right now?
I need you to call my best friend for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go call her. Let me see.
Come home. Come home.
Ma'am, we're sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Nicole. Mrs. Smith, Nicole is on her way. I'm so sorry for your loss. In this survivor resource packet that we have provided for you, it has the name of the investigators, the number of the case, and my name as well, and my business number as well. Once again, I'm sorry for your loss, and tomorrow morning a victim advocate will call you to go through everything with you as well. Okay?
Thank you.
Nicole, we appreciate you coming by. Unfortunately, her husband was killed in a traffic crash today, so we'd appreciate it if you could hang out with her and make sure she's not alone until some family arrives. They should be on their way. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Since the implementation of this program, I've noticed a significant benefit to the next of kin in the services that they're receiving. Before this protocol was enacted, next of kin weren't given any services, oftentimes until 3 to 6, sometimes 9 months after a crash happened. Now that a victim advocate is notified immediately after the crash and connected to the next of kin, they're able to get them services immediately, which helps them. It helps them with the grieving process. It helps them understand what's going on. They're able to get them into therapy and get them the assistance that they so desperately need. On top of that, it then helps law enforcement and it helps us as prosecutors because they have someone to also help guide them through. I would strongly encourage every law enforcement agency to adopt this protocol. It's an invaluable asset that will help you as an investigator when you're completing your DUI homicide investigations.
Through the work of the I.D.E.A Task Force, we have been successful in implementing the protocol for an immediate multidisciplinary response to impaired driving-related deaths. We have closed the gap in linking families to immediate services from an average of 6 months to just 24 hours. We have provided necessary training to law enforcement on delivering a compassionate death notification and the importance of having a victim advocate present, providing critical emotional support for the next of kin. Our task force developed a survivor resource packet, which contains important contact names, numbers, and information to help guide the next of kin through the first 72 hours following a death notification. If you would like more information on this project, please call 561-355-2383. I would like to thank our project partners for their support throughout the development and implementation of this protocol. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the Office of the State Attorney, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Florida State University. Thank you to our task force members for their dedication to this project: the West Palm Beach Police Department, Boynton Beach Police Department, Florida Highway Patrol, Palm Beach Gardens Police Department, Jupiter Police Department, Delray Beach Police Department, North Palm Beach Police Department, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, the Office of the State Attorney, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and the Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office.